Scott Adams, comic creator of Dilbert, was called a racist for his comments about citing a poll between blacks towards whites.
What?
But was it? I'm Jasper Gonzo, and this is What's Next. Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Jasper Gonzo here. What's Next? Your daily. Hope you guys are doing well today. Well, I didn't get onto the story right away, but I'm throwing in my 2 cents in regards to one Scott Adams. Yes, the creator of Dilbert, and of course he has a, I think Coffee with Scott Adams podcast, was recently, quote, canceled because of so-called racist comments. Like in the beginning of this, was it racist comments, or was he just pointing out a sad but becoming more true fact? Let's take a look. This comes out of the New York Post. Dilbert dropped by newspapers over creator Scott Adams' racist rant, quote unquote. More newspapers say they are dropping Dilbert's comic strip creator Scott Adams this week after advised white people to get the away from black people. And we'll go into that with a little bit more context. Gannett, the largest newspaper, publisher in the U.S., has announced it will no longer run the workplace comic effective immediately over remarks Adams, 65, made on his online show Real Coffee with Scott Adams. Quote, recent discriminatory comments by this creator, Scott Adams, have influenced our decision to discontinue publishing his comic. While we respect and encourage free speech, his views do not align with our editorial or business values, i.e. leftist values. The U.S. Today network of hundreds of newspapers said in a statement Saturday to the Post. Quote, at Gannett, we lead with inclusion and strive to maintain a respectful and equitable environment for the diversity communities we serve nationwide. The Cleveland Plain Dealer also said it was cutting ties with Adams following the, quote, racist rant, as well as Washington Post. The news comes 5 months after Lee Enterprises cut the cartoon from its newspapers and scaled back its funny papers. That's him right there.
That was an actual question. Rasmussen asked, white and black voters, and probably others, do you disagree or agree with the statement, it's okay to be white? 26% of blacks said no. It's not okay to be white. 21% weren't sure. Add them together, that is 47% of black respondents were not willing to say it's okay to be white. That's like a real poll. This just happened.
It's a Rasmussen poll.
Do you have any idea? Would you have imagined that could have happened? So I realized, as you know, I've been identifying as black for a while, years now, because I like to be on the winning team, and I like to help. And I always thought, well, if you help the black community, that's sort of the biggest lever. You can find the biggest benefit. So I thought, well, that's the hardest thing and the biggest benefit. So I'd like to focus a lot of my life resources in helping black Americans. So much so that I started identifying as black to just be on the team I was helping. But it turns out that nearly half of that team doesn't think I'm okay to be white, which is, of course, why I identified as black, so I could be on the winning team for a while. But I have to say, this is the first political poll that ever changed my activities. I don't know that that's ever happened before. Normally you see a poll, you just look at it and you go, whatever. Oh, this is interesting what other people think. But as of today, I'm going to re-identify as white because I don't want to be a member of a hate group. I'd accidentally joined a hate group. So if nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
My thoughts. I wanted to play that out in its context. So he cites a poll from Rasmussen, which of course is a real poll. Anyone can pull that poll up. Anybody can go online and pull that up and look at it. Now, in the lead up to his comments about staying away, of course, he cited the poll. He cited almost nearly half of the respondents. And then, but of course, he was doing a tongue-in-cheek in regards to, you know what, I identify myself as black, I wanted to be part of the winning team, and of course, you know, diversity, inclusion, all that. Now, flip the script. If Scott Adams were black, and he cited a poll basically saying, you know, well, half of all white people, don't trust blacks, in our current atmosphere, in our current, current year, 23, would he have gotten the vitriolic hate that he's getting right now? Would he have been getting cancel culture, the woke mob coming after his ass right now? I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because he cites the poll, but then he breaks it down as far as why he said what he said in the lead up and then afterwards. So to me, this is not something that Scott Adams just blatantly came out and said, you know what, I hate all black people, I don't give two fucks. No, he never said that. He basically said, hey, if you're citing a poll like this, and you as a white person are looking at this poll, you got to be saying to yourself, well, when you have half respondents saying that they don't like me because of the color of my skin, that's racism. That is racism. No matter how you flip the script, no matter whether you are black towards white or white towards black, it's racism across the board. It doesn't matter. The second you bring up skin color outside of other attributes, you are being a racist. They say, hey, you know what? I got a problem with this, not because A, B, C. Well, because he's a different shade of melanin. No. So I disagree that Scott Adams should be canceled. I disagree with it. I think this is just, I think it's ridiculous that you have more newspapers cutting him off at the knees, and then you have someone like the ADL, who has been a known instigator of racist bullshit, of bigotry bullshit, especially when it comes to Christianity. And you can look that up. They have a history of this. I would throw them away. Their opinions mean nothing. But we're going to see where this goes, because I think this is, to me, I'm not going to go as far as ridiculous, but I think it's very, very ignorant for people to cut Scott Adams off for basically citing a poll to say, hey, here's what it is. Here's my opinion of it. Again, we're living in an era where your opinion, your opinion is racist, bigot, phobic. But unless you're on the winning team, to put it as Adams did. I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.